What's up, guys? Welcome back to Channel Chris. So we've ut a super cool project coming in this week. My first yellow truck that I built was a 68 that we did the Crown Vic swap on, built the firewall, put the 4.6 in it, axle flip. It was my first bump side, got me into bump sides. The guy I sold it to contacted me and he wants me to bag it. So he's on his way to drop it off. We'll have it for the next couple weeks, putting bags on that son of a gun. I'm waiting on him to come down the road. Super excited about that project. I really wanted to bag it back in the day when I had it, but just didn't really know how to bag stuff back then. So now I do, and we're gonna get it done. Super excited. We're just gonna sit here and chill, wait for him to pull up, and then I'll give you guys a rundown of what we're gonna do.
And I'm so happy that you agreed to do it. So it just made It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. I just needed something with turn signals, like when I got it, you know, because we didn't have the turn signals wired in, and I was like, man, I kind of like it on there. It gives it a little bit of personality. So there's turn signals in those? Yeah. So what did you go for? I was gonna.
All right, guys, we got her back out here. Check out this thing, man. I forgot how nasty she was. Man, this truck is so cool. So this is the first one I built a couple years ago. I sold it to that guy, and he's wanting me to bag it now. He's done a couple things. Got the headlights there. That's looking cool. Show you under the hood. Did the motor all up before we sold it. This one was a fun build. It's got the Crown Vic on it already. That's the 4.6. And let's see. He put Dakota digital gauges in it and a different steering wheel. It's kind of dark, so you probably can't see that well. I'll show you guys again tomorrow. And the headliner, man, check that out. Super cool. I'll show you again tomorrow. It's dark. Super cool. And this thing is looking good. It's got the Crown Vic wheels on it. Damn, I missed this truck. It's gonna look mega cool, slammed all the way down. We're gonna get started on it tomorrow morning. We got all the stuff coming in, hopefully gonna be here Saturday. It's everything. It's the whole airbag kit. We've got the brackets that go in the front for the Crown Vic, and that'll be easy to do. We've got a 10-inch step notch for the back, so we'll pull the bed off, step notch that. We got 4-link coming in. Everything, switch box, gauges, everything coming in. I'll show you guys step by step on how to bag your bump side. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to do this in about 2 weeks. It's not a super hard process. If you've already got the Crown Vic member in there already, not hard at all. We've got boxes starting to come in already for this setup. Still waiting. We've got a package coming in tomorrow for our front brackets. For this right here, our mounting brackets for our bags. So today we're actually going to probably get this cover off, unhook the gas tank. Oh, here comes Josh. Let's take a little break. All right, there goes Josh. Now we can get back to work. So I think for today, I went ahead and opened up these boxes and seen what we've got so far. This is just the bag set up here and some fittings. We've still, like I said, we got the mounts coming in tomorrow for that. Also the step notch kit, the 4-link kit, and I'll show you guys all that stuff. But for today, I think we're just gonna center it up with the lift here. We're gonna take the front wheels off, get off the whole front stuff. These upper control arms, you gotta kind of shave them a little bit, and I'll show you. It depends on the type that you have. There's some round ones, and there's some that kind of like flare out like these. So we will have to shave these down just to make clearance for the bags. I'll show you guys all that stuff. So today, get the wheels off, get all this stuff out, get those upper control arms shaved and get it ready. And then when the bag stuff comes in tomorrow, we're gonna paint those upper mounts with the Ford blue to match the engine. I think that'll look pretty cool. We'll get those on tomorrow, get the test lines for that so we can raise it up and down, and we'll get it around. We might go ahead and start taking off some of the stuff from the bed today too, just to get ahead of ourselves. Take off this cover right here, and then we've still got the gas tank under there from when I mounted that. We're going to get that out too so we can get this bed off and do everything we're going to do. So I'll quit talking, set up the camera, and we'll get to work. Got those undone, I'm just gonna raise this thing up so I'm gonna scratch no paint. Mess nothing up. Can't do it by yourself. Okay, before we get too far, I'm going to take some measurements and see where our stock rod height is. Well, this isn't stock rod height. This has had an axle flip, and yeah, the axle flip is what it's had done, and the mini C-notch into the frame. But starting now, we're at 24.5 to the bottom right here from the ground. That's where we're at. I want to see where it's going to be when we're done. Let's check the front now. Okay, our front is at 26.5. All right. So we're going to see where that'll be at and see if it'll come up higher than that after we get the bags on or what we've got there. All right, we got the wheels off. That is the first step on the front, is taking your wheels off. Now up in here, our brackets are gonna mount where this coilover is. There are 3 right here, 1, 2, 3 bolts on the top that hold this thing in. And then down below, we've got one, if I can find my pointer right there, that's holding it in on the lower. So that thing needs to come out, but in order to get it out, and we've got to do a little bit of work. What I was telling you about shaving, see how this thing, it's hard to hold this and point. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, this little flat edge right here likes to rub the bag in there. So we're going to take off this upper control arm. You don't have to take it off, and we might not. We'll see, but usually you just take it off and then hit it with your flat disc in here and just smooth that so it don't flatten out right there. It just rolls down, and that'll give you enough clearance there. Let's see. It doesn't even stick out on that side, so I think it's just this side that we have to worry about. We're going to take off this brake caliper here, and we're going to loosen the tie rod right there. That bolt comes off, and I think we're gonna take off one of the ball joints. I think the lower. We'll figure out when we get a little bit closer. I just want to show you guys what we're working with up in here. And so yeah, let's get to it. I think the first thing we're going to do is just remove this caliper, and we'll get it, we'll take a bungee strap and strap it up in here somewhere so that it's not hanging. And we're just going to start getting our way into getting this out right here. All right, we're tearing into this thing. We have got, we just took off the sway bar there. It was bolted up, 2 bolts here, 2 bolts over there, and then it came around and it had the little sway bar link that came in. And it came in through that hole, and there was a nut holding it there. We had to remove the rotor there so we could get access to it, and that's gonna have to be gone. We will have to relocate that. Because where it's at right now, I've had problems where the sway bar link is, and the way the bolt comes, it just stabs into the side of the bag once you get it bagged here. So usually we just have to remove that and or relocate it. But for now, we had to get it off. What else have we done? Got the brake caliper off. We got, let's see, the tie rod there is off, and I just put the bolt back on to it so that way we don't have a whole bunch of bolts laying around and nuts and trying to figure out where they go. I did the same thing with the brake caliper there. Put the bolts back in there. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take off this upper and lower ball joint now and just remove this whole knuckle and get it out of the way. You don't have to do that if you don't mind fighting that big heavy son of a gun around while you're trying to take care of this. It's easier just to get it off now. It's 2 bolts. Get it out of the way. We're going to get this shock mount, or this strut, out of the way, and we'll take off these 2 bolts here that hold this upper control arm out, and we'll get it out, and I'll show you guys where we're going to shave it up in here and get it prepped. All right, we got that spindle out of the way. Whew, I'm a little out of breath. You can see this is your upper ball joint, and that's your lower ball joint. So on the other side over there, I'm not going to remove the whole spindle. You don't have to do that either. I'm just taking it out right now to give it more room and show you exactly what we're doing. You can take off the upper one, it'll be plenty. You can leave the lower ball joint in and just let that spindle just hang to the side, and we'll get this upper control arm out. And then that way you don't have to fight that bottom one. But for me showing you, I went ahead and just got it out because it's just one bolt, got it out of the way. You might also want to take it out of the way. Gives you more room, but you're not going to need a lot of room. Once I get those brackets in and show you how this thing mounts up, it's super easy. I'm just taking a little time today because I don't have the crap here with me, so I might as well kill a little time and show you guys. So now that that spindle is out of the way, we're going to get this strut out. Like I showed you, sorry if this light's blinding. Let me bring it in this way, guys. All right, we're going to take the 3 that's attached to this, not this center one, don't mess with that, but these 1, 2, 3, take those out, get this bottom one out right here, and then we'll get this this strut out of the way. And then from there, we can take off the upper control arm. You can see you can't do it now because the nuts are hold it right here, and then the head to it is inside here, and it hits that strut right there, and you can't get it out. So we'll get that out first, then remove those 2 bolts and get this whole upper control arm out. All right, we got those 3 bolts out there, 1, 2, 3, and we took the big nut on the bottom off there. If you get to tapping on it and trying to get it out and it won't come out, it's because it's got this little thing and it'll get stuck behind that. So bend it down there and jiggle that son of a gun out like that. Just keep pulling, it'll come out. There we go, we got it out, and the nut to it is here. I'm gonna put those back together. Boom, those are back together. We'll set it here, and now this thing should be loose in there. This upper control arm, I'm gonna go ahead, and you don't have to if you want to just fight it, but I'm gonna loosen up this bolt and that bolt there. That way we can flex this thing, get it up out of the way, and this right here is loose. See, it just fell right there, and it'll come right out. All right, boom. You see we got that strut out of there. It is hidden over there on the floor, and you can see Kathy's hair. She's hiding behind that box. But strut is there. There's Kathy's hand where she is hiding. And so, yeah, we got that out of there. You guys seen where I loosened up the bolts? Actually, I just took them all the way out. And then we can move this thing here, raise it up, got it out of the way. Took your foot. Well, you would have 2 hands. I was holding the camera, but you take your other hand, push down, and that thing just comes right out of there. And that opens us up for the bag mounts. So the way they work is, I'll show you when they come in, but it's just got a little bracket that's going to go back into those same 3 holes up here where we took those bolts out. It's going to bolt in right there. You'll have to get your own hardware, but let's see. Yeah, you put your 3 bolts in there, and it's going to have a flat part here, and that's where you mount the top of the bag. And then down here comes a little bracket. It's a circle, sits right here, and it's got like little forks that go down, and you'll put your bolt where your strut went in right there, and you'll mount the bottom of the bag to it right there, and it just, you know, up and down right there. Pretty simple. That kit, I don't know, I have to post it up, but I think it was like maybe $100 for the kit. Anyway, now that we've got that out, you can see these bolts are coming out now. We'll go ahead and take these out. That way we can get this upper control arm. And I'll try to show you again. You see, yeah, see that little ledge right there? All the way on the inside. We just want to grind that all the way down smooth with this. So that way it's not rubbing against our bag. I've had it in the past where it'll kind of rub your bag a little bit, and you don't want to do that. So we'll just get it off, grind it down now, and then we'll slap that son of a gun back in here. We'll go to the other side and get the strut out over there. I'm not going to film that because you've seen how boring this side was. Yeah, we'll get that out and get that one ground down over there, get the upper control arms back in. And Kathy just sneaked back outside, or she's still hiding. We'll get that back in, and that'll be pretty much it for today until those bag mounts come in. We might go ahead and get the gas tank in the back unhooked. We got that uncovered, get that unhooked and get it out of the way. That way we can get this bed off, but we'll get this front finished up first for you guys. So, all right, let's get that upper control arm off. Okay, upper control arm is out. Simple enough. So you yourself with 10,000 tools can get out your upper control arm. All right, so let's see. We might paint that thing while we got it out. We'll see. Kind of make it look cool. I don't know yet. It's out. Let's go get it ground up. All right, guys. I didn't want to bore y'all with all the grinding, so I just went ahead and did it, and I figured I'd show you guys the finished product. You can see here on the inside where that lip was. We just ground it all the way down so that it's smooth with this radius here. You know, the edge, like that. Just take it all the way from about this knuckle all the way around to about right in there. And then on the outside, actually, let's see, this is on your driver's side. So this is on your driver's side. So the outside part towards the radiator, the outside roll of it also, if you see there where it sticks out, kind of taper it in and smooth it down right there and bring it back out. Because when it bags down, it likes to hit there too. So that would be on the front end. Both sides, but towards the radiator side, you want to shave that down. The back side, I don't think I had to do anything. I went and checked my other truck just to see. It didn't look like it, but I shaved down a little anyways, because you don't want to be pulling this thing in and out 2 or 3 times. You just want to do it one time, get it done. So you see there, she shaved all the way down on the inside, made it look clean. We're gonna go tape up these joints right here and these bushings and clean this down, and we're gonna put another coat of black on it, clean it up. Whew, man, that thing was hell to get out of there. That was the worst strut I've ever had to get out in my life. The bottom bolt that just slips right through had apparently maybe welded itself to the collar inside that strut, and it was not coming out. I beat on it literally and torched it and did all kinds of stuff for about 45 minutes. That son of a gun did not want to come out. You can see I ended up having to cut the bottom of the strut there just to get it out. And then here's a piece of it here. That's the bolt that went through it. It was welded in that sleeve here and somewhere else. I just had to beat the dang crap out of it. There it is. Oh shoot, that's hot. There it goes. It's still hot. Don't pick that up, but you can see where I grinded and cut and beat the heck out of it. We would just set it over there. Man, that was tough. We've got it out though. And as you can see, you don't have to take this whole knuckle off. I left it on the lower ball joint there. We just pulled it out of the way, got our upper control arm out, got that shock out. This upper control arm is done over here. We got it painted back fresh. She looks good to go. This one right here is ready to grind down all the edges. Let me put them side by side and show you. Okay, you can see, okay, on the inside here, the lip, can you see? Heck no, it's kind of dark. You can see the lip right there, and that one don't have one anymore. We just cleaned it up all the way around this edge and kind of flared it back in right there because it doesn't rub right there. So, yep, this front one ready to go, or the driver's side ready to go. We're gonna go take about a little 15-minute break, and we'll come back and we'll grind that one down, get it ready, get it painted up, put it over here in place, and we'll probably bolt those back on, clean up our tools for the day, and that'll probably be it for the day. It's been a nasty day. It's getting towards the end of the day. Mel's gonna bring the parts tomorrow. We'll finish up this front end, set her back down, and we'll tackle the rear end. All right, we got this other control arm shaved down now and got a couple coats of paint on it. We're letting it dry. So while the paint is drying, I figured while we got it on the lift, we'd go ahead and get it up here and go ahead and get the bed bolts out. You can see there's one there, and there's 4 on each side. You have one up front. You know, you can see right here, here's your cab mount. So we've already taken out a couple. There's one. The second one will be right by your shock mount up top. There'll be 2. And back here, where's my flashlight? Here we go. Back here we've got, there'll be 1 supposed to be right there. That's 3, and then 4 on this side, and same thing on this side. I've got most of them off already. We got 2 or 3 left to go, and all those will be loose. We'll disconnect everything else under here that needed to be done. That way tomorrow we'll be able to turn it around and pull this bed right off and just keep on going with this thing. So yeah, that'll be the next step for you guys too. If you're gonna, since you're gonna be bagging yours, and you're gonna have to do this too, so you might as well take this opportunity, get all the stuff done underneath that you need to do. Because the next step, after we get this front wrapped up, the bed's going to come off. That way we can do our big step notch and our 4-link. So that's something that you're going to need to do. Also, underneath here, if you've not done this before, there's going to be some plugs in the back. This one's a little different because this is all the Crown Vic electrical running back here to the lights and all. I'm sure I've got a plug back here somewhere that's going to disconnect this whole bed from, oh yeah, we're going to take the bumper off too, but it's simple enough. There are 2 bolts here and 2 bolts here that hold, what the heck is that? Oh, exhaust hanger, that hold the bumper on, so we'll take that off. That'll help with getting the bed on and off and won't bump into that. Let's see what else. Probably, I've got to disconnect some fuel lines because the gas tank is up in the bed. And I think that's about it. You're just going to have a plug that goes to your bed, and that's about it. All right, I'm going to get back to work. All right, guys, we got all of our stuff in today. Let me turn off this heat gun. I have painted those bag mounts there red because the engine's blue and red in there, and I think it would look really cool just to set it off instead of plain old silver. So we got all of our stuff in. I'll take a break down here in a little bit and show you guys everything that it takes to do this job, but pretty much everything we need is right here. These are the upper bag mounts for the Crown Vic. I got them off eBay. They were about $100, something like that. And I'll show you guys how they mount up. I showed you once already, but I'll show you when it's fully together. These are your uppers left and right, and that's your lowers left and right. We've got the bag over there waiting. Let's see, other stuff we got. In these 2 boxes, that's the whole bag setup as far as the 4 bags, 2 compressors, 1 tank, all of our lines, all of our fittings, gauges, switches, everything's in there. I personally don't like the gauges and the switch that it comes with. I toss those to the side and I order my own every time. It's the little digital gauge. If you guys have seen me use that in on other builds before, but I like that one. It changes colors. You can put it to the color of the truck. It's really cool. And then the switch box it gives you is just these little up and down things. I don't like them. I just get the 7-switch box there. That way you can do, you know, up, down, left, right, all that stuff. So, and that's that. These boxes are bags that were in that box. That's just a little wiring kit. We're going to need wiring to run the compressors all the way up to the battery and all that stuff. So we got a wiring kit there. You're going to need a wiring kit, your airbag set up. These are just some rear bag mounts. This is going to be an upper. We're going to mount it somewhere on something we build. And these right here are under the axle mounts. They're all taped together, but you can see there it goes under the axle. And then your bag's going to sit right there. That's going to be up top and like that. That's how that works. Let's see, we got a 4-link right there. It's pretty much about all we need, really. I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff, but I'll do a little breakdown again later, like I said, of everything involved. So we're going to, it's a little cold out today, so we're going to let the heat gun keep running, heat up this paint right here and get that dry. We're going to take a little break, about a 15-minute break, and we'll come back. Hopefully this will be dry, and we'll get everything slapped on the front. I've already put the upper control arms back on. I didn't show you guys that because it's pretty simple. If you took it off, you know how to put it back on. There it is right there. Got it back on, just waiting. Something else that I also do, let's see, these bolts right here, that one and that one, when they're all the way in, let's see here, when they're all the way in, they stick out right there about a ½ inch on each side, and they mash into your upper bag mount right there, and it won't let it fit in all the way. So I just back them out, and then when you get your bag mount up in there and get your 3 bolts in, then snug it back down, and it's kind of got a recess cut out for it already. If you can see, I've got them sitting there like right there. Right there's a little recess cut out for it, so it kind of will go into that and just help secure it into place. Well, all right, yep, that's where we're at. We're gonna take a little break, let that dry. When we come back, we'll slap that back in, put all that back together, and we'll have bags on the front today. And there's Kathy coming home early again. All right, guys, I got this first one assembled for you. You see how it goes here. This is the top. You got your 2 bolts in there. This is where your air goes in, and then on the bottom, you just put 1 bolt in through here, and it slides up and down so you can adjust it once you get it in there. I leave this one loose, so that way when you get it in there, you can twist this and make sure that it's lined up with the shock spot once you get it down in there. Then I snug that up and then put your bolt through. Up top, pretty self-explanatory up there. You're just going to put your 3 bolts through with your washers. I went to the hardware store and got some. I use them these are about 2 inches long, I think. I think they were 3/8 by 2 inches is what these are here. And they go in through there. I got washers for everything, lock nuts for everything. And then the ones that go into the top of the bag, I think were also 3/8. Maybe wrong, but I'm pretty sure these are 3/8 by 3/4 of an inch for this one right here. But your bag's going to come with instructions that'll tell you what size. But you don't want to get too long because you don't want to, bust through that thing and have an air leak. So that right there is good enough. All right, so now we're going to get 3 of these long ones together here. Washers on all of them. And then there's going to be washers on the other side too. So you're going to have 2 washers per each one of these. Get these through. Get your 3 more washers. Get 3 lock nuts for those. And let's take this unit over to the truck and get it in place. Okay, so all the hardware that I got is 14 millimeter. So you're going to need 2 14 millimeters. Let's see first. I guess we'll take that bottom. There's a little slot down here where your shock went into. This part's going to drop down in there. We'll squeeze this in to place. We'll go ahead and get a washer and a nut in our other hand. Okay, we got the first one in place. We're going to get the second one in. All right, we've got our upper section. We got our upper section in there now. Got a little dirty. So you see there, our 3 bolts went in through there, come into the top, and got all those. We got lock nuts on those so they don't back out. And you just want to make sure everything looks good up in there. Make sure she's sitting nice and tight. The first time I did it, you can see where the red meets right there. There was a little gap, about I don't know, maybe an 1/8 inch gap right there, and it's because it was hitting these threads and it wouldn't let it seat all the way. So that's when I learned to back those out, put them back in, make sure she's setting in good all the way. We've got all those looking good. So now all you've got left to do on the bottom, as you can see there, your shock bolt's going to go back through there. You'll snug that down. We'll get that spindle back on and everything attached back up to that, and that is a pretty easy process. Let's go grab our bolts for that shock area right there, and we'll get that on. Okay guys, this side is all wrapped up. We got the spindle back on. You see everything's back on. So that's how she looks up in there. It's bolted in. There's your bag on the bottom. I know that thing is pushed real far to the back, but it is slotted so that way it's setting more straight. If I had it all the way to the front so it looked normal, but that bag was like kicked out sideways like that, man, it didn't look good. Sorry, I'm out of breath. It's getting late out here, working late tonight, but you can see what I'm talking about. It's slotted so that way you can align it for what looks better. That bag was sitting in there. If I do it centered with that, it's cocked like that. So now she's more straight. So that's what it is. This side is all done, man. That's looking cool. I like that red up in there. Goes good with the yellow. Looking awesome. We're about to put this wheel on and get over to the other side and get it wrapped up. It's still bare. See? Needs everything done. I'm not going to record that. You guys seen how to do all that on this side. That'll pretty much wrap it up for the front. Well, we've still got to run some air lines, but I'm just going to run some test fit lines. I'll show you guys that when we get the other bag in. I've just got, I run two little pieces. I run a short line from here, you know, up into the middle. And then I run one from this bag here into the middle, and I have a little T and a little piece with a valve stem, and I'll put air in it, and it'll raise it up and down so that way we can test everything. But I'll show you guys how I install that when we get that other bag in. So let's get to work. Okay, basically this is what it looks like. Let's see here. All right, we've got an orange. It's real long. One goes to one side, one goes to the other. And you've got the T in the middle right here. And it's got a little valve stem so you can put air in and out. And it's pretty simple, just so you can test it up and down. We'll come in here. You'll take this side of it, route it in, make sure it's not rubbing against anything. And these are push-in fittings. Very good fittings. So just push that in until you feel it lock real good. And then it's in there. It'll run up through here. You can see we just got it up out of the way for now. And then when we get the other bag in, we'll run that one into that one. And then from here in the middle, you can air it up and down and test it. All right, guys. Dang, that guy's driving fast. All right, guys, we got that front wrapped up. I am super excited about how it goes up and down. Don't want to show you yet because I've got a couple of other little things I got to do. But that is her, fully aired up right now. It started out at 26.5. That was the stock ride height. It is up to, I think, 28 right now at about 80 PSI. So it'll probably go up to about 29. So it has more clearance now than it did before. But look at there. Can't even tell, man. Cool. So it's getting really late. I need to get a lot of things done before the day's up. So I'm just going to keep on rolling through here, guys. I've got it backed around. I showed you guys earlier, we got all the bolts out for the bed. So make sure you get all your bolts out. Had a few other little things I had to do, but just make sure you get it fully detached. So now I've got some 2x4s right here. I'm going to stick a 2x4 under this lip right here, straight across there. And back here, we're going to raise the lift up, and we're going to snatch that thing with some straps and pull it straight up and off there. We'll roll the truck out, lower the bed down, get the bed over here so it'll be out of the way, and we'll get the truck back in. That way tomorrow morning we can start ripping this rear end stuff apart and getting ready for that. So I'm going to set the camera down and we're going to pull this bed off. You're welcome. I can take this out. This is a bit. You slide that box up. All right, guys, there it is. I'm tired as heck. That was heavy as heck. I don't know if you saw me and Ian and a bunch of his buddies and a little piece of Kathy. We were able to get that bed out of the way. It's over there. Got the truck in and out. I mean, you see where it's at. We have had one good day, all just today. We have bagged the front, got the bed off, getting ready for the bed tomorrow. Sorry, I'm out of breath, guys. I've been working away. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's like maybe 10. And I've been working out here since about 8:30 this morning. Been a long day, but we've got a lot done. So tomorrow we'll start on this rear end. I'm going to finish it up for tonight. I'm about to shut down the shop, go shower. That's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning, guys. We are back out here this morning. We worked late last night. We're going to start on this rear end. So basically, we just need to get some stuff out of the way. The exhaust isn't going to be able to run like that no more. So we're going to cut it about right there and do some turnovers there, turn downs or something. So we'll cut the exhaust. Now this thing's already got a mini C-notch installed. I did that a long time ago, so we already know our center, so we don't have to worry about our alignment on this. So we're going to get our exhaust out of the way. We're going to start removing all this stuff. The leaf spring brackets there, we're going to take those out, and then we're going to, I take the grinder, and on these rivets, just cut a little cross in them, and then take your air chisel, and it'll pop it right off. So we're going to take all these hangers off, take that hanger off, get that bracket back out of the way, cut the exhaust. What else are we going to do? Detach the emergency brake. What else? We do got to detach the drive shaft, so we'll get that unhooked. We'll remove the shocks. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to get our tools together and start taking some stuff apart, making room to get this rear end out of here. Okay, you want to make sure you find your pinion angle of your rear end here, so that way we're not going back weird like this or this. So I've got a little digital angle finder, set it right there on the top, 7.8. And then what I like to do is just take a pencil and draw a box. If you can see, I scored a box all the way around it. That way when we come back later, we don't know that we put it in the same spot because it's 7.7 there, but it's 9. You can see what's happening here. Just a little bit, if we didn't put it back in the exact same spot, the difference, like even right here, see what I'm saying, 6.5 there, but in our box, we're at 7.8. So make sure you draw your little box or something around it. That way you can get back on the exact location every time and get that pinion angle set just right. You gotta roll me, you gotta go over there, you ready? Yeah. All right, here goes the other one, you ready? Right, yeah. Don't let me fall. All right. No, don't let me fall. Okay, push. Yeah. Oh my God, so sketchy. I'm gonna fall, stop. Oh my God, that was so sketchy.
Hey, we made it over there,
though. Yeah. All right, guys, as you can see, we got that rear end out of there. That was sketchy as heck. Ian did the old wheelbarrow on me there, and we rolled that front end out of the way. I recommend doing that. That was fun. So, yeah, we got her stripped down, man. We disconnected the brake lines, the drive shaft, the exhaust, the shocks, and maybe some other stuff. We got these brackets right here knocked off. I showed you guys how we did that. Got the frame looking good. We've still got to take out this mini C-notch right here. It's just bolted in. Thankfully, we didn't weld that thing in because, man, that would have been hell getting out of there. So we'll just unbolt that, and then we've got our center mark our line right there for our axle where it was. And she stripped down. Look at there. So we're about to go take a lunch. When we get back from lunch, we might go ahead and start cutting into this and doing our step notch there. Once we get our step notch in, we've actually got to cut all these perches off. Perch there, perch there. We might leave the one. Nah, we'll cut them off and we'll save them. That's for our shocks. That way we can reuse that. Cut these perches off. Not too much to do there. And then, yeah. When we come back from lunch, we'll start that step notch. And that's going to be a big part of that project done. So let's go get some lunch. We'll be back. All right, I've got a lot done today. I haven't been filming hardly anything. Most of this stuff's boring as crap. I think I showed you guys I got the rear end out, but if not, rear end is out. I'll show you guys tomorrow more step by step on how to build this box. I just went ahead and got this one thrown together. She is looking nice. Turned out really good. Check that out. This thing comes in a whole bunch of pieces like this, so we got to build it ourselves. So it starts out like that, ends up like that. And I will show you guys how to build it exactly on that side tomorrow. Like I said, I just threw this one together. I was working away today, trying to get some stuff done, but she's looking pretty good. Tomorrow we will do the step notch on this side. We'll bring the rear end back in, set it up, and start doing the 4-link for that. And man, she's getting close. This isn't taking long at all. We're on day 2 on this build so far. Two and a half. Day 2.5. So yep, it's late as heck. I'm about to go shower and go in, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, we're back here the next morning, and I went ahead and threw a little bit of primer on that this morning just to get it covered up. It's looking good. So I'm going to show you guys how to get from this to that. Pretty easy little process. You're going to start with all your pieces scattered all on the floor over there. So we'll take our first piece here. What I do is I get a measurement here. I think it was 9 inches across the top there, something like that. Anyways, just find the middle of yours, put a little mark, and then I'll take my square, mark it down. You don't have to do this. I just do it because it's easier, because it puts the mark down lower and it's easier to find. You know, that's where the center of our axle was. It's easier to get those. All right, so once you got that pretty close, you kind of just eyeball it and get it up there. I take some vice grips and clamp it to the inside of the frame so it's kind of just floating there. Then you're going to want to get your level and make sure she's level on the top. And then when you get it pretty close, I run my level from that dot to that mark and make sure that they are level. That way I know that that thing's sitting kind of normal. And if you want some like reference points to the other side of your frame, I just noticed that this little dot right here runs on the edge on this side, and there's a little hole. I don't know if you can see it right there. We just catch the edge of that and weld that in. So if you'll look to the other side to make sure we're in the same spots, you can see we're just catching the edge of this hole right here, and the bottom of that one got welded in. I filled that in. So that lets us know that we're near the same spot. You see right here, you got about 1 finger to that hole. You got about maybe 2 fingers, 1.5 fingers to that front one. We'll look over here. You've got about 1 finger to that one right there, and we've got about 2 fingers over to that hole. So we're pretty dang close. And if you kind of go like this, you can see that they're perfect. Just kidding, I made that part up. So, all right, now, we've got this kind of where it's going to go. It don't have to be exact right now because we're about to take all this back down. So when you got it kind of close here and level there and straight with this one, and so I take a pencil and I mark the sides and get it about, you know, where it's going to go. We're going to take this piece back down. I'm going to grind all right there where we're going to weld to. And I'll grind the inside here and all this edge right here, because I know we're going to have pieces going here later and there and across the back. So I'll go ahead and grind that down now. And then once you get that, we'll get this piece back up there and line it back up like I showed you. Make sure you're close with that hole and you're level on the top and you're level from your center mark to that mark. And as far as height up and down, you got to kind of just go off your own judgment here. I know that I let mine overhang about, was that maybe 1/4 inch right there, maybe 3/8, maybe 1/2 inch. Let it overhang like that on the other side too. That way I can catch some weld on the backside, and I take the hammer and just kind of bend it over there and make it look good, and it don't have a sharp edge. So yeah, that's about the judgment you use on here. And actually, I probably, now that I think about it, probably could have took a measurement from here to there on the other side if I had not already cut that out. So maybe you guys do that. That might help you when you're doing your other side over there. Get a measurement from here to there, and yeah, just make sure you're the same height over here. That'd be much easier to do. I don't know why I didn't think of that. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that down, get that all ground up, then we'll pop this back in place, and I'll throw some tack welds on it, and then we'll do the next step. Okay, now our next piece that I do is this top one, and you don't want to run it like right on the top and to the edge. What I like to do is kind of like make an L shape with the edges here. That way you have like a little V for your weld to fall into right there. So I get a couple of these little magnets here. You don't have to have these. Makes it a little bit easier to hold it in place. All right, I don't know if you guys can see, but that is sitting right in place like it should go. Now we know this way is level, but you want to check this way. And from my experience, it's not always level, it's kind of downhill. You need to pull up on it a little bit, but let's see. And yeah, it's off, it needs to come up just a little. So, all right, now she's level that way. And level that way. Got that on. We'll throw a couple more tacks in it so she's a little bit stronger. Okay, before we go to the next step, what I like to do is go ahead and step around to the inside. I know we're just tacking this in place, but we're not moving it. I've got enough experience to know that this is exactly where it needs to go. I'm just tacking it now to kind of get it all built, and then we'll come back and weld it together later. But some of the inside stuff is going to be harder to get to as you start building this. So I'm going to go ahead now and go to the inside of this, weld that in real good and solid before we put this outside piece. You can still reach it either way, but it's just easier to do it now. We'll go ahead and weld it in. Then we'll do our outside piece. It's basically just lines up with this. As long as you're lined up pretty good here and it's hitting the frame there, it's good. So you can reach your stick inside here and weld along the inside of the frame there too. Dang, I didn't grind this side. I need to grind that real quick. All right, so something to keep in mind when you're doing the driver's side. Now the passenger side, we have no electrical, no nothing going on over there. But the driver's side, we've got a wire loom coming through for your tail lights and all that stuff coming through. And you got a brake line also, so you want to make sure you move it. You're not cutting into that. The brake line's going to be fine. It's before the notch. But your electrical, you can pull it to the side like this. Go ahead and build your box. And just strap it to the outside later. I usually sometimes will drill some holes and get some of the zip ties that are like, you know, go into like a little hole and then zip tie around, makes it look nice. And you can run it around your notch there and onto the back. But what we're going to do on this one is I'm actually going to try to run this wire loom inside the notch there so it looks nice and clean. You don't see any wiring going through. So before we put this outside piece, we will need to notch that a little bit and go ahead and get this big wire setting up in there and in its place. That way we don't have to fight with that later. right, we've got that other side in place there. You can see we've welded on the insides all the way and got up in there on both sides. Now we need to, and also we made sure we got our wire in between there. That way we'll be able to run it up in here. The next step is to get your little side pieces. It'll be the shorter of them. There's some short ones and some longer ones. The longer ones will go in here. Don't cut this out yet until we get this piece in, because I don't know, it might do some flexing or some stuff. She might be kind of solid already, but don't cut out the middle until we get this one on. So for it, it's just gonna set, you see here, you're gonna kind of, get her lined up, and then whatever we've got on the top, we'll take a pencil, score that, cut that off with the grinder. I actually will go to the inside, score it from the inside. That way it will inset in this, Yeah, let me show you. Don't take your pencil and score it here, because it's going to be too tall. Take your pencil, go inside there and score it from the inside. That way it'll sit in nice and flush and it will look good. So we're going to do that to this piece. We'll mark it and cut it. And we'll mark this one and cut it. We'll get both of those welded into place. And then we'll cut out this middle piece here. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Alright, you see we got that middle piece out. We've got all that welded in and boxed in. Don't pay attention to some of these welds. That's going to be ground down. We welded it on the inside and the outside, so she's pretty dang strong. Now that we got that boxed up, you see I took my grinder, cut that out. I used the plasma cutter just to make like a little notch on the inside right there so we can get this wire up inside there. Let's see what else. Actually, while I've got that out, we're gonna let that cool a little bit. I'm gonna take some rust barrier black paint and spray all up inside here where everything hasn't been hit with paint yet, and get all that coated real good. And then we'll this last piece that caps this side here, we'll spray the inside of it black, and then we'll put it on there, and then we'll weld it. So yeah, that's what we got going on. This piece right here, you've got two of those left. They're gonna go here. You're gonna do the same as you did on the side. Mark it at the bottom right there. Cut off the bottom, weld them into place, and then this last little one, whoops. This last little one will go up and cap inside there, just like that. All right, so let's keep cutting, keep welding. All right, we have got the axle back in there. We've got the notches done. I skipped out on a little bit. I showed you guys mostly how to build that son of a gun. Yeah, so got that. We ground down all of our welds. Looking pretty decent there. Looking pretty decent. But yeah, got those all ground down. We hit it with some primer. Then we hit it with black, obviously. Our axle, you see we got the perches off, the shock perch and the leaf spring perch. Got those ground down nice and smooth as eggs. Let's see, we got our angle finder back on there in that box that we drew. 7.8 right back on the spot. So it's looking pretty good. We're going to start out with her at about what we think is going to be ride height. I think that's going to be about ride height right there. So we're going to, now that I've got everything set up here, we've got the frame where we want it. We've got our pinion back where we want it. We're going to start getting the 4-link stuff set up now. So what I do is you want all 4 of your bars to be the same length. So let's see here. I'll show you what I got going on. So I'll get a couple long bolts. Sorry I didn't have 2 long ones. I only had that 1 long one. It'll be good enough. We'll use that little stubby and that and make sure they're touching. So yeah, those 2 right there are the exact same length. So what we'll do is it's hard to do with one hand. You'll just twist this thing out right here until it gets to where you can slide it on both of those right there, and you'll put all 4 of them stacked up right there. As long as they're going in those same bolts, they'll be the same length. So I'm going to get off here and use both of my hands and get all these put together, and I'll get back on the next step. Alright guys, we are back here and I have got a lot of stuff done. I have not been filming. I messed up. I should have been filming. But anyways, I'll catch you guys up. So on the 4 link here, I showed you to make sure that all 4 bars were the same length. So we got those the same length, and then it's pretty self-explanatory from there. You know, you're going to put them both in the front bracket, put them both in the rear bracket, and kind of hold them up until I think the bottom bar is horizontal, kind of with the frame, you know, and then just wherever it meets up on the axle right there, tack it in, hold it here, tack it in. It's pretty much all there is to it, and then weld it in real good. We've got the bags on, as you can see. We had the lower bag mounts. I think I showed you how those work. They're under there. They just weld to the axle. They're shaped so you can put it to the bottom of the axle. We got one here and one there. You want to make sure that you have enough room and not going to hit your notch right there when it's fully deflated. So it's really tight. There's not a lot of room. You can see right there. Because these axles, this section right here is closer to this side. It's offset a little bit. It's not directly center. So this one right here, you don't got a lot of room to deal with right there. That's also why I've been doing under the axle mounts instead of on the axle, because there's no room for the bag and everything right here. It just rubs too much stuff. So we haven't been doing it that way. Under the axle mounts, and then we've just got this bar right here, and it's got the upper mounts on it. And it's pretty much all there is to it. The bag screws in there, and on the bottom we've got our tester line in, just like I showed you on the front. So I'll set the camera up and I'll pull that valve right there and let it lay down and show you. I think it's up to about 60 psi right there with the bumper about that high, about 60, 70 psi maybe. I don't know. I don't remember what I left it at. But we'll pull that stem, let you guys see that drop down. Actually, it's not going to drop all the way down because I got the lift under it. So we're about to raise it up. I'm going to pull those bags out. And now that everything looks good, I'm going to pull those out and we're going to paint this up again, make it all look a little bit better. Then we'll get the bags back in. I think today we're going to cut the bed floor and try to get the bed on here. And then once the bed's on here, we can plumb up all of our air lines and our valves and stuff, and then wire up our switch box, and we're pretty much done. So yeah, let's pull these bags off and get that painted up, looking a little bit better. She's looking low, the front's down. There goes Kathy. Man, I love that car. We got the front sitting down. Oh, better zoom back out. Got the front sitting down pretty low. She's going to go down more than that. You know, we're sitting on the fenders. We haven't trimmed any of the fenders out yet on the inside, so it's setting on those, but looking pretty good. She's pretty dang low just like that. You can see from the cross member how much lower we're going to be able to go. Actually, not too much lower. We've got about maybe 2 inches until she's sitting on the ground right there. Maybe not even that. That's only maybe an inch. So she might actually not even go no more lower. We'll see. We'll check around and look. Well, okay, let's get back to this back. All right, now I've got that bag out of there. Maybe I can show you a little bit better how this setup is. I've just got it on the lift here to raise up the rear end. We pulled out those bags. All right, so this lower mount, you can see here, like I was telling you, it just wraps around the axle underneath. Goes underneath there. We've got her welded in, and then you have to fab up this little bar to hold up your upper right here, welded it to the frame, so that way it pushes the frame away from the axle there. The best way to do this for me is whenever we bring the axle in, we put our lower mount on first, and then I will mash the bag all the way down flat, and then I will set this bracket on top of it and go ahead and kind of lightly bolt it in. That way I know that is our maximum down, and as soon as we put air in, we'll get our maximum lift from there. So I'll put the bracket on there and set them both all the way down, and I'll bring in this bar, and I will just, wherever wherever that's at, I'll build a little, I'll show you there's a spacer under this bracket right here. You know, whatever the space is when that thing's smashed all the way down, if I had, you know, 3.5 inches or whatever, that bar was floating there, I just cut a spacer to put in there. It's not a spacer, it's just a big ass 2x4 tubing there. So, you know, and that gives you your exact height right there. And then from there, you know, you'll bolt your bag in. There's bolt holes on the bottom and on the top, and you'll run your lines and everything. So yeah, we got the bag out. I'm just gonna, everywhere we welded and stuff, we're gonna paint that and make that look a little bit better. And then we'll get the bags back in and start plumbing up stuff. All right, as you guys see, we got our bed marked up here. I just found where the stock bolt holes were on the frame there, and our notch is right in the middle. So just make yourself a measurement on what your notch is here. And then I had to cut this little bed liner back a little bit. So we got it back, and we're about to cut out this center section. Go ahead and get this part cut out. All right, guys, we got that floor cut out. You see we used the plasma cutter, went around the edge, and then I took the flap disc there and just cleaned up the edges right there so they're nice and smooth. I've done stepped into it once, got my leg right there. Yep, so I went ahead and grinded that down. She's nice and smooth as eggs now. That is gonna be a perfect cut spot. That's gonna hug this right here real nice and tight, I hope. Looks like it's gonna be nice. And then we've got to cut out for the fender still. So I'm about to take a little 15-minute break. And when we come back, I think we're going to cut around the edge right here and get these fenders out. And then this will be all opened up. And I'll try to get Ian and his buddies. We'll drag the bed over here, put it on the lift, raise it up, bring the truck back in, set it down, start bolting it up. And then, man, we're getting super close. But I'm going to go take me a little 15 minutes break, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, we got the bed back on. We got to get a couple bolts in still. I've just got two kind of holding it right now. See how we got her cut out here. We used a different 4-link on this one, so we did have to bring that over a little bit more because this was hitting when it came down. So we've got that, and we also had to notch out for the drive shaft again. We're going to build a little something over that, cover that up, but everything else is looking nice and tight. Sorry, I think I'm a little sick. It's getting a little cold out here, but we got our panhard bar on there. Everything's looking good. Today we're going to get it up on the lift, get the valves out and start assembling the valves and getting them placed and getting our plumbing done. Hopefully we can get her all plumbed in today. That would be cool. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's going to be pretty much the job for today, is get all those set up, and I'll show you how you put all those together. Let's see what else. This is how she's setting right now. That's probably about max ride height on the back there. We could put some blocks right here, and it would raise up the rear end if he wanted it higher. You know, in between the bag and this bracket here, I've put like a little bar right here that'll raise it up. We can go up an inch, inch and a half, 2 inch, whatever he wants if he wanted that to go higher. But you know, the bigger you do on that, right now our bumper is just touching the ground. So if we start raising that up, it's going to keep your bumper from touching the ground when we bag all the way out. If he's cool with that, then we can do that. The front goes up way higher. I've got it down right now actually to about 60 psi, and it's like that. So he's probably going to want to run it around maybe about 50 or 40 to be level with the back. Well, okay, let's get to work. All right, we've got some of the stuff pulled out of this box. These are the valves here. Let me get this thing pulled out. All right, so this is one of the valves, and you're going to have 2 of these per wheel. If you see there's a little arrow on there, that's the way that the air needs to travel. So we're going to run a line from the air tank. It's going to come in this side of it, and it's going to travel that way. We're going to have a T right here, and there's on one side of it's going to go to our air gauge. The other side of it is going to the bag, and then straight ahead, sorry, my camera's not doing, camera skills aren't good today. Straight ahead will probably be another valve, and that'll have an arrow pointing out, so that way when you open it, the air will just dump out. I'm going to get the pieces together and all the fittings, and I will show you guys how to assemble one of these. Alright, I'm going to try my best to show you guys how we're going to do this. Alright, so we're going to go under here, see how we got the stuff set up. We're going to have the main line for coming from the tank for this bag right here, coming from that one. So we're going to have a hose going down. It's going to loop around under here. So let's go under and look. Alright, we're right under here. You can see the back of the bag set up under the frame. So we're going to take our valve set up. Make sure you get the arrows going the right way. And we're going to strap it, put it on the top of the frame, in between the frame and the bed right there. It'll sit perfect. It'll sit perfect right there. We'll strap that down somehow. But we're going to have an air line coming from the tank, and it's going to come through here and loop around and go into that fitting. You can see right there. It's going to go into this right here, and then it's going to come out here. We have a hose come out here and loop around and go back up and go into that bag. We have one of those here and one of those over there on that side too. We'll set them right in that gap right there. We'll get them strapped down, and that's how that one's going to work. Now these lines, these wires coming out the back, this is what you're going to run to your controller. One goes to ground, the other one goes up to your controller. It doesn't matter which one on these right here, either one can be ground. So I'll take this one and the one coming off of this one, join them together and just screw it to the ground under here right there. And then I'll kind of label these with some tape, and I'll get them together and I'll run them all the way up the frame right here into the cab to our controller. So let's get the other one over there set up. Alright, we've got all of our valves put together, installed. We've got all our line installed, all the plumbing in. So I'll show you guys how we got this now. Alright. Still got to clean up some stuff under here, but you see there's the one valve that we built. So we've got probably, this is our line coming in. See there, it loops around, goes into the valve, and then it comes back here and goes up and into the bag. Same thing on this side. Alright, and then for the front, if you can look up and see the tank up there, yeah. Okay, this line here is coming, runs down. We're going to strap it up there and make it look better later. But it comes down, we run it along the frame here, and we come down, and then we got the valve stuffed up in here. Can you see it up in there? Got it stuffed up in there, so our air line comes in, and then it goes out, up to the front bag. Let's see, where's that line at? Right there. Right here, it comes in through the top. And can you see in there? Yeah, goes in right there. So we got it all plumbed in. We've got all our solenoids. We've got, okay, again, show you on these right here, the wires coming out. I told you, one of them's a ground, one's a power. So let me go to the back because it's hard to see that. So we take one ground from each one of those, and I just twist them together, and I grounded it right to the frame. And then we'll take a power wire from one and a power wire from the other. We'll run them up together, but individually once we get up to the front. And that'll go to the switch box. You see, I did that to all of them. I took the ground from one, ground from the other, twisted them together and put them in that. Did it to the frame. Again, we got it up here, same thing. You can see right there where I put it to the frame. So you should just have one wire from each one going up to the front now to your switch box. So, yeah, everything looks pretty good under here. All the plumbing's done. We're going to go to Lowe's tonight and get some wire and some other stuff. And then we'll get this wired up tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get all that wired up tomorrow. Alright guys, we got her back on the ground. Got everything set up kind of how it's going to be. I think we're going to run it like this. Looks pretty cool. You see we got the tank there, compressors on each end. We got the water filter there. Everything looks pretty good. Let's snip these lines a little bit, that one right there, to make it look a little bit more uniform. But everything looks good, I think so. See there? Everything runs and crosses. Looks nice and clean. I was gonna put that up at the front of the bed right there, but I didn't want to take up space there and only have a little space here. So now I've got it all contained to right here. That way if you want to throw some chairs and a canopy or something up there, you can, and it won't be in your way. Even got a little space right here to throw some stuff. But that's how she's gonna look. We've got the wires right here. There's 2 that come off this, 2 that come off that. I'm gonna run the grounds together and then I split one off of it into the bottom of, we got a pressure sensor right here. Okay, I'll run it into that, and then I'll run the top one off and I'll run it into the ground somewhere. And then the powers, I'll just run both of those together, run them up to a toggle switch, and then from that up to the battery, and that should be good. Okay, so the way that I hooked this up last time, I just kind of got like the cheapest switch that I could find online. Some of these things are pretty expensive. I think I got this one for like 75 bucks, which is pretty decent. So it comes with this big plug. This is the second one that I've used. This plug goes to, I don't know, whatever that thing goes to. But for our application, I just cut this thing right off. And then we got a positive and a ground in there somewhere. And then I can't remember the wires that I used on the green truck over there. So we're just going to figure it out again. I just take like a wire from, we'll start with the front driver side up there. And I'll hold down whatever one. You can wire this thing either way. You can do it this way or do it that way. I think that's the normal way. But I always do it, I like doing it upside down. I like it better like that. So the wire comes out the bottom. And it ain't kind of like weird when you're holding it up. But whatever, you can do it either way. So what I do is I'll just I'll hold this button down right here while I take the wire from the down solenoid and I just touch it to random wires on here until something happens. And then when it hits it, I know that is the down one. And then I'll do the same thing with up. I'll hold up on that same one and touch wires until it jumps up. And then you've got your up and the down on that side. We'll tape those up, and then same process on the other 3 corners. You know, this will be, you don't have to worry about these. They're joined together inside this thing. So you'll go to your front passenger side, hold it down and touch a wire, hold it up and touch a wire. This is, you get it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I went and got wire this morning also. So I'm going to lift it back up and go ahead and get all of our wiring underneath. We got 4 wires under there, 1 from each solenoid, and we're just going to join them together. We're going to cut a little hole in the bottom of the cab, run it up and into the controller inside there somewhere, and then we'll get in there and show the other part. Alright, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it goes something like, I think this pink one is going to be our power supply. We're going to hook it up to a fuse. Yeah, a little fused wire coming off the battery or to your key, something in there, just somewhere where you're getting power. And then, so they're kind of grouped together. So I think this white and this yellow is going to be like front left up and down. The one under it's going to be front right up and down. And then these 2 right here is going to be like back left up and down, and these 2 will be back right up and down, something like that. Kind of give us an idea, but definitely want to this pink one is going to be our power to our power source. And then we'll probably start with these. We'll probably cut these 2, and I bet you that one's going to do this front side right here up and down, unless we've got it reversed. I like to reverse mine, so it could be, you know, just set it however you want to do it. Hit the button wherever whatever one you want to be front right there, you know, like that. And then so if you want this one, you want it to be that way, then you're going to hit this one, hold it down until this one drops down, and then that one until that one drops down. Okay, Let's get a power source. I'm just going to run a little wire straight from the battery down into the cab there. All right, guys, we are pretty much done. In fact, I am done. He is coming to pick it up here in a couple hours. I skipped through a lot of stuff, man. I've got some clips from another truck similar to this one that I bagged that I'm going to throw in to this video that's going to show how to install the valves and how to connect the valves and all that stuff. But now that it's done, I'll give you a quick rundown of everything. I may have already showed you this, but we got valves back here in the back. They're running over to the bags, and then we've got all of our wiring. We've got our relays in right here that go to the compressors. Everything's looking good. We've got our shocks installed there. I will set it down and show you guys all that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get it down off the lift, and I'll show you guys what we're working with. All right, we got her back down off the lift. I'm a little out of breath. I've been running around the shop this morning. So this is what we got set up on the back end here. You can see we got the tank here, both compressors. There's our upper bag mounts. We've got our panhard bar in. That's what we did to cover the tank. That's all we could really do for now. We just built a box over it. And so before, he had to open up the tonneau cover and like climb under here at the gas station and climb under there and fill it up from under here. So it was really awkward. So we just routed it through here and got it routed to the stock spot. Now he can pull up, put in gas right here. This is what it looks like in the back. We just routed it around like that. Pretty cool. I think it's all right. It'll work for now. You know, it's much better than what it was. We're going to put his tonneau cover back on here in a minute, but I wanted to show you guys what we were working with. I'm about to pull it outside of the shop and set it next to green Lincoln truck over there, get some pictures, and yeah, so everything's looking good. You can see everything in there. We are done. He'll probably be here in about an hour now, so I'm gonna pull it out of the shop real quick, wash it up a little bit, put the tonneau cover back on, and we'll wait for him to get here. All right, we got her washed up. She's looking good. I'm about to lay her out, pull Lincoln over here beside it. I wanted to set up the camera and show you guys. Back up a little bit. The sun is bright as heck out here today. All right, we'll set up and I'll lay it out and show you guys. All right, we got her washed off a little bit. Man, she is sitting low, all the way on the ground there. Look at that. It's as low as we can get it there. And the front, it's as low as it can go. If you look in here, you can see, maybe, I don't know if you can see. Can you see up in there? Yeah, we're sitting on this little thing, but it's actually protecting us because right on the other side of it is the transmission pan. I don't know if you can see up in there. Yeah. Right there, transmission pan's sitting on the ground too. So if we were to take out these little eye things right here, it would allow us to sit further on the transmission, and that wouldn't be good. So those little things are kind of protecting us. We'll leave those in there. She turned out really awesome, man. I'm sorry if I missed out on some stuff in the back. I try to be pretty thorough on the front. I do have some clips from another, like I said, another yellow truck that I bagged. I'm gonna mix some clips in with that and see if I can't show you guys how to do the full job from those two. But we got most of it on this. There's just a few little things, like I think I didn't show you guys the valves, but I am going to throw in a clip on that, or I did throw in a clip on that. Pretty simple stuff. The wiring to the controller is pretty simple. Let's see, we got our gauges up in there. Everything's looking really good. It turned out really awesome in here. Looks really, really good. Excited to be part of this job and get to bag this one. I hope Jason loves it. It looks really cool. Got it parked out here next to Lincoln. You can see the difference in the heights there from body dropping it. But as far as the back end, they both sit the same on the back. Man, isn't that a pretty sight? You see we got his cover on there. And it's like a tri-fold thing, so maybe at the shows or whatever, he can fold back the first two, show off his setup, lay down the tailgate there, and still use his bed. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Please hit that subscribe button. It's around somewhere. Sorry for that sun blinding you. And I hope that helped you with if you're wanting to bag your F100. If I skipped out on some stuff, again, I'm sorry. Maybe hit me up with some messages, and I'll try to help you through it as best as I can. But all right, guys, thanks for watching the video.